This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Warehouse.
Here we go, punters. The NBL finals are fast approaching and there is no better way to get involved in them than bet with mates, because we've all got those mates that are just so focused in on the footy at the moment. They don't quite follow the NBL as much as we probably want to, so you could be the saviour in your bet with mates group. So make sure you jump on board. You've got the deposit limits that are able to be set. You can rate your mates' bets with emojis. I know the type of emojis that I usually get sent, and I don't think that I can repeat them on here, but there's plenty of fun to be had punting with your mates with Bet with Mates. So enjoy the app and, most importantly, gamble responsibly.
I'm never off my grind. I'm always on time. I'm ahead of the game. I'm first place. I'm in my prime. Hard work that pays off. I pay dues. I'm paid off. Cross me, get crossed off. I'm so fresh. I'm so raw. Go hard like A-Day. It's game time like game day. I ball hard and clutch play. It's game time like game day. Now let the games begin.
It'd be a remarkable story for Tasmania in their first season in the Hungry Jacks NBL to make it to the finals. Well, that dream lives on, and while others around them are faltering, Tasmania can take care of their side of the equation by recording another win tonight as they take on a New Zealand Breakers team who have got some big changes of their own that we'll get to. Hello and welcome to Good Friday basketball here in the NBL as the JackJumpers play host to the Breakers at MyState Bank Arena in Tasmania. Jack Heffron joined in commentary by Pete Hooley and Leonard Copeland. And gentlemen, 3 games to go and the JackJumpers are still a live chance.
Yeah, Jack, they are. This is going to be a fascinating game with the result last night with the Perth Wildcats leaves the door slightly more ajar for the JackJumpers. And right now, they're going to do what they've been doing for the last month, and that is take care of business themselves, worry about what everyone else happens later, just get wins. Does it add a little bit more pressure to get this win? Well, we're about to find out, but what a story.
Copes, let's take a look at the Amy ladder, and by virtue of Perth losing last night to the Adelaide 36ers, it opens the door for the JackJumpers.
I tell you what, Jack, if Perth continue to play the way they're playing and Tasmania win a couple of more games, that streak that Perth had with playoff games, they're out. And look, it's good for basketball. Good to see that first-year team come in and put some pressure on these guys.
Every 2 weeks on the NBL website, Pete Hooley goes through Awards Watch, takes a look at the MVP and every single award that's available and does a running commentary on them. This man on screen, Scott Roth, you've had him as the coach of the year now for a few weeks.
Well, I still do. Just because of the story, a chance to have 15 wins, potentially more. That conversation is going to get a little bit more interesting over the last week and a half. Chase Buford, what he's doing, Dean Vickerman, Melbourne United. 3-horse race, but what a story. All of them equally deserving right now. But Scott Roth, as Liam said a few weeks ago, that's what the Lindsay Gaze Trophy is all about. Yep. It's been an incredible story with a roster that a lot of people picked towards the bottom to be competing and close to a finals berth. Unreal.
What about Jack McVeigh? As far as the awards go for most improved player, is he in that conversation?
He's in the conversation. He's had a fantastic year, which is what he needed to do for this JackJumpers outfit. But the problem is, he's going up against? Joe Lual-Chul, Xavier Cooks, Yanni Wetzel. It's going to be tough to displace one of those.
The DoorDash starting lineup for the JackJumpers to celebrate the NBL Finals. DoorDash are giving you the chance to eat your way to LA. This sounds like your sort of competition, Copes. You can use the code DASH2LA on all orders between now and May 29, and you'll be in the running. You can take 3 friends or family to LA to see the Lakers. Just remember, if you win, you've got to take Hools and I with you. Here's the starting lineup.
Adams, Majette, and look, McVeigh, we just spoke about him. He's the guy that carries this team. They go the way he goes. He brings the energy, he plays multiple positions. He's averaging 11 points a game and 5 rebounds. So his energy is the way they play.
For the New Zealand Breakers, we mentioned some changes to their team. Yanni Wetzel, the big story of the last 24 hours. Usman Jeng not playing tonight, by the way, but Yanni Wetzel has been signed by the Spanish EuroLeague team Baskonia. Hulls?
Incredible story, well deserving for Yanni Wetzel, who is a true superstar, what he's shown this year. By far the most consistent player for the Breakers. Went another level up from his rookie year with the Phoenix. And again, this is why we say well deserved. We know how well regarded the NBL is, and he's put the rest of the world on notice just because of what he's done this season. He has been a monster and a force to be reckoned with. When you come up, he's had some massive matchups where a lot of times people think, okay, maybe he won't be dominant. He's been dominating. Yes. So I'm really happy for him, and I'm sure the Breakers are as much as it hurts to lose him.
Just shows, Copes, that the eyeballs of the world are always now on the Hungry Jacks NBL.
Absolutely, and if this guy plays the way he's played the last 2 years, it's hard to see him coming back to Australia.
He's probably shooting a jump shot or two a game from 3 away from the NBA. And even still, I think he'll get an opportunity to showcase what he can do.
Still only 25 as well. That's something with Yanni Wetzel. As we're underway, the breakers off the tip. We're going to get to the foul line in the first 5 seconds of the game.
This doesn't look too good for Tom Abercrombie. Straight away. Got the steal off the tip and then get another look at it here.
He's got his legs caught up a
I'll tell
little
you
bit.
what, he didn't even realise until he went to stand up. Oh, he might have.
Was it growing? Or?
Yeah, in the end, he might have copped on where you never want to get one. And just a bit of an accidental. Had a little bit of a smile as he got up and walked to the free throw line.
Wasn't a smile. There wasn't a smile, bro.
Well, that's never nice 5 seconds into a game.
He's had such a horrible run with injury this season as well. Missed the start of the season, Tom Abercrombie, with back issues, then had knee issues as well. He's only played, this is his 12th game for the season.
But when he came back, he didn't miss a beat. Jump shot down, playing great defense. He leads this team.
Starting 5 tonight for the Breakers is the 15th different starting lineup they've had this season tonight of Siva, Basol, Delaney, Abercrombie and Rob Lowe. McVeigh, his first look from outside.
Just pure, you know, pure. Again, McVeigh to me, I understand he had to leave, but if I'm Adelaide, I'm scratching my head now thinking, why did I let him go?
Basol, one half of the French connection, the other not playing tonight. Low at the top of the key.
Mentioned to keep an eye on Finn Delaney tonight for the Breakers. I thought he was very aggressive. He was outstanding in the game against the Kings the other night in Bendigo. No Yanni Wetzel, so there's a bit more opportunity for Finn Delaney. Rob Lowe has played well when he started a couple of games with Wetzel out, and that's going to be a foul on said Finn Delaney. Good take from Matt Kenyon.
I was just about to mention that Finn Delaney was magnificent on Tuesday night. He looked like the Finn Delaney of old, but the one problem is him staying out of foul trouble.
He's now picking up that early one because you know he likes to be aggressive, use his physicality to his advantage.
The extra goes down as well, so the JackJumpers, after conceding the first bucket, have scored the next 6 in the game.
They taste that blood, don't they, Jack?
They do.
They can taste it, man. Just the way they play. They have a chance.
Nice pass from Abercrombie. Gets Rob Lowe involved.
Well, they can. When they beat Brisbane, we interviewed Jack McVeigh after the game and spoke about how the finals are still a chance. And he said, look, we're not thinking about that. I guarantee you that group chat would have been firing up last night at about 11:30 p.m.
Here's McVeigh. This time puts the ball on the floor and finishes off with the left hand. Under pressure.
He brings it.
Jack McVeigh has 5 of Tasmania's 8 points to start this one. Everything you spoke about pre-game, Copes.
He's a energizer bunny. Just keep going.
Delaney had his pass intercepted. There's the bunny. Off to Kenyon. Tries to draw a foul. The points count all the same.
Good finish from Matt Kenyon. Get out in transition. Finn Delaney threw that straight to Jack McVeigh.
We talk about great stories this season. Did anyone have Matt Kenyon as a starter? 3 games to go in the season.
I didn't even know Matt Kenyon. What are you talking about, star?
Well, it has been a tremendous story. Again, buying into the culture that Scott Roth has created.
And the Jet off target. His first look. Great article today on NBL.com.au, written by Chris Pike about the Matt Kenyon story. Abercrombie. $10-4 early stages at MyState Bank Arena. Nice drive and finish from Josh Majed.
Too easy on this end. 12 points in those first 3 minutes.
That's too many points. If you
Well, it just... Look at that, just layups. I mean, Matt Kenyon had a lap. The one in transition was tough, but they don't have their rim protector, their big fella down low in Yanni Wetzel, so it's a bit more difficult for the Breakers. But it has been just an incredible story overall, the JackJumpers. And if they're not your favourite team, if you're not from Tassie, they're everyone's second favourite team for sure.
Be honest, and this is not a criticism.
Never lied to you, so I will.
You lied to me about 20 minutes ago. This this is not a criticism at all of the way that the team was built. Where did you have Tasmania pre-season in predictions?
Dead last.
I think I had him last as well.
Me too.
Happy to put my hand up with it, or near bottom, what, 9th or 10th, for the sake of with the roster. And then Will Magnay went out, and they won the first game. That was against the Bullets, and then stumbled for a little bit, and then they turned things around by buying into the exact culture that Scott Roth wanted to create from top to bottom. And everyone, it's been a complete team effort, and it's been incredible.
I think what made me decide that they were not going to be good was when I saw McIntosh at first. He just didn't fit this team. He was ugly in the beginning of the season, and she slowly started finding his feet. But the team just looked better when everyone played as a team.
Well, to that, Josh Majette, Josh Adams, they struggled a little bit in the first couple of rounds as well. They were trying to force a lot. There was so many contested shots, and Scott Roth pulled them in line and said, look, yes, you're our imports, but you just got to trust the rest of the team. And they've done that, and their games have also improved, and so has the rest of the team.
Pete, you mentioned culture. There are sporting teams. Here's Seaver. Good look from the corner. There are sporting organisations in this country and around the world that have been around for 40, 50, 60 years, whatever, that still can't get culture right. This team's nailed it in a season.
Well, it has, and it's exactly right. But it's from the top to the bottom. So it's from Scott Roth, it's from the organisation, even from the office. He wants that from everybody to be buying in. It's Josh Adams, good little take, good finish in the end, past Rob Lowe. But what helped them was they did a lot of stuff in the community. Obviously, Tasmania, pro sporting team down there, and they embraced what it meant to be Tasmanian. And I think a lot of people at the start, when the name JackJumpers came out, didn't understand and said, okay, I'm not all on board. And then you found out what it was about the end. That's them.
And now everyone loves it.
It is them. It is exactly what, because they do it all together and they're feisty. That's how they play.
And I asked this question a month ago. Do they now, after this season, look for higher profile imports? And what happens when you bring in higher profile imports? Does that, again, mess your culture up? Are these guys going to come in and try to do it themselves?
Well, that's the balancing act with it all, with any new team with turnover. And you saw, I mean, Southeast Melbourne Phoenix were the latest new franchise, and after they had a bad end to the start of their first year. Bad, you know what I'm trying to say. But the second year they went to the semi-finals, and, well, really a game away from holding up the championship trophy. They would have won that grand final series if they beat Melbourne United. So how do you retain the core, retain the culture, but still add pieces to improve? That's the challenge.
That's going to be a real challenge. That's going to be a real challenge.
Here is Mikhail McIntosh into the game. Hugo Basson misses that free throw. Josh Majette. It's Adams who turns the corner. Threw a bullet inside for Matt Kenyon, who was just as good to catch it and score.
Well, it's good defense for a little bit from the breakers. In the end, just fell asleep, let Matt Kenyon get open underneath. He's up to 7 points.
There's Seaver, missed the first from that spot, makes the second. His first points of the night. How have you seen his season, Coach?
It's been up and down. But look, you got to take your hat off to New Zealand as well. But all the things they're going through, they still come out and compete night in and night out. And you know, a lot of teams would have folded it up. Haven't been home in 2 years. You know, you don't see your family. But these guys still come out and play hard. And I still think they'll make a run here. They will make a run.
Nice dime inside for Basson. They've scored the last 5, the Breakers.
We'll chat with Peyton Seaver after that game in Bendigo. Just speak a little bit more about as this game goes on and just how he came into the season and trying to adapt with his injuries as well. But really loves it in the NBL, loves the competition of the league, and sure will want to stay around.
Delaney has Basson. He fires away. Rob Lowe again. O'Board. Repeat looks for the Breakers. It's knocked out of bounds.
Come on! I thought he got it. I thought he got it, Dan.
Beautiful pass. And then Peyton Seaver with his first 3 of the game.
That's a good pass here from Peyton Seaver. Good cut from Basson. They got this baseline out of bounds, right? Thank goodness, because Dan Shamir was ready to explode.
And you speak about coaches and Roth, but you got to take your hat off to Dan Shamir, too. I mean, he's still very passionate about winning. He's still, as bad as in play sometimes, you see him on the sideline, he's up and about, you know, and so.
He's tried to generate energy for them, hasn't he, in that hardest of situations. Nice hit from Adams. There is the New Zealand coach.
What has impressed me the most about Dan Shamir, we're going to talk a bit more over the next few days, Usman Jeng. When he started, it looked a bit out of place, looked a lot out of place. And Dan Shamir held him accountable from the jump with absolutely everything it takes to be a professional to play at this level. And what he has turned himself into has been incredible, and a lot of credit goes to Dan Shamir as well.
Krislovic in motion, off target. Matt Kenyon doing Matt Kenyon things, couldn't finish. It's Tasmania by 9.
They're just a bunch of blue-collar workers, aren't they? They just, everyone's buying in.
Basson, beautiful pass for Abercrombie. 1 of 9 from outside in the opening quarter of the Breakers. Tasmania 2 of 5 in the same stat. McIntosh likes to muscle his way in. He's fouled on the floor by Delaney.
And that's 2 on Delaney.
It's good awareness from Kyle McIntosh, put the ball on the floor. As the substitutions come in for the JackJumpers.
Clint Steindl had 14 points when they played in round 4. Was 0 from 6 when they played in round 9. Had 9 points in round 14. All 3 of those meetings this season between these teams have been won by New Zealand, and Steindl fouled in the act of shooting 3.
Well, he got way too much space, and everybody's known this. Whenever you play against Clint Steindl, when he gets to the scorer's bench, next whistle, someone has to stay glued to him every time they run a play for him to get a shot. And they fell asleep and gave him some space, and then Randall just ended up fouling him, let him come into the game.
It's already hard enough to stop him because he's so tall, he gets his shot off. But when you give him space, it's definitely going up.
He's about to have 3 points in 1.5 seconds of playing time.
That's some Peter Hooley stuff there, man.
That is, couldn't be further from that.
Here's Scott Roth, previous assistant coach with the Perth Wildcats, and as we've spoken about a lot tonight already, and have done all season, done a remarkable job putting this group together.
Now, he's seen that ball go in the basket 3 times.
That next one's going up.
Next one's going up.
For New Zealand, 9 of their first 11 shots in the game have been from beyond the arc. You can live or die with those sorts of numbers. Nice play.
A couple of good passes here from Basson to start this game. Pretty simple ones, making the right read. This is good from Hugo Basson. Got 3 points, 3 rebounds, and got a quick touch pass and 1 opportunity.
He's another one early in the season. I mean, I knew he could shoot it, but we didn't know a lot about him. He was young. Dan Shamir put his trust in 2 young kids who I thought were never going to be good enough for this league. But as you said, all credit to Dan Shamir because he's done the right thing by holding them accountable, making them better players.
Got his man up in the air. He's Galloway into the game. I think the highlight of the year for me has been when Andrew Gaze has been in commentary and Hugo Basson has been playing.
He loves him.
Bairstow took the contact. He's fouled by Basson.
Push, 2.
Free throws to come. Bairstow, a former Wildcat. What did we make of Perth last night in the second of the day? It was an incredible night last night for the Hungry Jacks NBL. Sydney and Illawarra was absolute top shelf stuff. But
Best game of the year, you think?
And then Perth and Adelaide threw up a bizarre result.
Just let's be fair, it was ugly. It was ugly on the Perth side anyway. You don't expect that, especially in Perth.
Yeah.
With the talent that they have.
Are they wobbly right now, Halls, the Wildcats?
That's a bit of an understatement. Absolutely they are, because it's been so long since they're down double digits in the 3rd quarter against a lower-ranked team. You'd say they're home. They will come across the top at the end and they'll win this game by double digits themselves. And just haven't done that. It's not the Perth we remember.
I think we got to give Adelaide a little credit as well, because apparently CJ's just said, look, guys, go out and play and have fun, And last night it was evident. They looked good last night. Hurts look bad, but Adelaide look good.
Seaver, bottom of the net. He's got 6 points. They keep it inside single figures, the deficit at the moment, the Breakers. As Jared Weeks into the game, was a perfect 3 of 3. Last time we saw Tasmania on Friday against Cairns. Steindl couldn't bank it home. Masson inside for Lowe, who's playing some good minutes.
Masson also really showcasing his passing ability. It's a ripper pass as Rob Lowe, who, as we mentioned, without Yanni Wetzel, who played earlier in the season, played really well.
5 unanswered points for the Breakers and a turnover. Basson runs the floor, blocked over the back by Sam McDaniel.
Has Basson done enough to be an NBA player?
Oh, yeah, he'll get drafted. No doubt about that. I think he's been, again, exceeded my expectations. Just, there's no fear.
There's another nice pass. Well, according to ESPN, the last projected draft, he was a second rounder. So, I guess your question, Coach, is what happens to him next after that? Is that what you're saying?
Right.
McIntosh draws a foul. Who knows? He might be back here next season in the Hungry Jacks NBL, this time with his rights owned by an NBA team.
We saw that with Didi Lozada and Justinian Jessup. He was drafted first before coming down, but who knows? Exactly right.
These guys get a chance to showcase their talents in the summer league against other talent. So, you know, it really depends on how well they play in the summer league as to how high they go in the draft.
I would have a feeling it's going to be a really strong NBL flavour in the summer league this year.
Yep.
A lot of names can be floating around.
Last minute of this first quarter. Here's Will McDowell-White. Here's Lowe. Beautiful pass for Rasmus Bark. A reminder that he can shoot the 3 ball. We haven't seen a lot of him this season.
He's been missing, hasn't he?
They're starting to stick a couple of these threes, the Breakers. It's back to 6. Steindl, catch and shoot. That's deep. McIntosh hustles, wins it back, and tips it in.
Will McDowell-White's playing his 50th game tonight as well. Give him a little shout out.
See more of him in the second quarter. He takes it to the rack. Hard landing. He's taking a little bit of time to get up.
Hard fall.
Ooh, ow.
Definitely just wasn't in position best, though. Tried to get there late, and it's... I really hope that is just something with lower back. He's dealt with concussion. So hopefully that's just a bit of a stinger.
He's had another, like just about every New Zealand player has had a disrupted season. Will McDowell-White has missed a few games, as you say, Pete, with concussion. Since coming back from that, has really found his spot back in the lineup.
Well, it's hard with how much
Seaver
has been healthy, and then you've had Jeng and Basson playing a lot, which, again, when they're out of finals contention, that's a lot of their focus turned to seeing how much they could perform, which is fair enough, how high they can get drafted with 2 years of playing on the road, not being in front of your fans, home arena.
Both of those guys are playing for New Zealand, but have they played a game in New Zealand? I don't think they have they?
Jared Weeks shut down by Rob Lowe to finish off the quarter. And the Breakers are just hanging around after 1. We're just going to check here whether we've got any time left on the clock. We don't, so it's 28-22. Quarter time at My State Bank Arena on Good Friday Basketball. Great to have your company for Friday night basketball at My State Bank Arena. The Tasmania JackJumpers lead it after one, 28-22. Their leading scorer, Matt Kenyon, who's played some really good minutes, and Rob Lowe and Peyton Seaver, the leading scorers for the New Zealand Breakers. Second quarter is not too far away. The winner of our $50 Kmart gift card for tonight is Andrea Nicolescu. My son adores playing basketball, and he plays for the Wood End Dodgers and is always practicing. That's how you get better.
That's how you get better, Hoolies. Just like that, bro. That's how you get better.
Was that you, Halls, on a South Australian farm?
Leonard Copeland Academy. That's a good take from Kyle McIntosh. And that, again, they run these plays every single game. With the shooter in the corner, Clint Steiner looking like they're setting a stagger screen away. And really, it's just a chance from Kyle McIntosh.
He's a bull.
To do exactly that, be a bully.
You were talking about him earlier, Copes. His free throws here for Basong. Would you bring him back? Where do you sit with Kyle McIntosh now?
No. I mean, look, he's gotten better, and I think he's a quality player. He can play, but I'm not bringing him back. And again, we spoke about Tasmania looking for different imports. I honestly think that's a bit shaky, because if you go out there and get 2 imports that expect to score, then everyone else misses out. So you got to be careful. But that you want that culture to stick. You got to make sure you bring back the nucleus of those guys and not overdo it.
McDaniel baseline was stripped. His hands by Basong. McDowell White has Basong at the other end. He misses. Galloway went for the tip done. His pass chopped down. Tasmania had 28 on the board at quarter time. It's their second best first quarter of the season. Their best was 36 when they played Melbourne in round 10. McIntosh stripped.
Good hands there from Rasmus Bark. On Kyle McIntosh, just trying to get to his right hand, get downhill.
Sam Timmins comes into the game. Some extended minutes for him tonight.
Speaking of big boys.
Oh, yeah. 6'11", a little under 120 kilos, Sam Timmins. A big man.
Jeez.
Bark kept it alive for Basong. Galloway lost the handle. Weeks comes up with it. Nice touch from Steindl.
Getting out in transition. The JackJumpers before New Zealand can even try and get set in the half-court defense. It's long way Timmins. You just got to have a look at the rim first. It's a good little pass from Will McDowell Wide. Might have a little floater. Trying to draw the defense.
He'll get himself on the free throw line.
He's so big and strong. He's such a big target. It's hard to miss him.
He was another one with Yanni Wetzel out early. Shows a lot of promise. Nothing overly flashy, but just going about his business. Setting screens, rolling hard, being a big presence.
Had a brilliant season in the NZNBL for Otago. Averaged 19 points, 13 rebounds, made the All-Star 5, most improved player, and led the competition in rebounds and blocks.
Wow.
That's how you bang the door down.
That's how you get picked for an NBL team, huh?
32-25. Good Friday basketball. Krislovic's pass a little ambitious. Dow White and Basong combine. And Tasmania have picked up another foul early in the second quarter.
That's going to be on Krislovic there. Dow White not actually even looking at the rim. Had an open three and then looked like he had a jump shot.
Matt Kenyon checks back in. 7 points. +9 in his time on the floor in the opening quarter.
We're off to guys next up.
Receiver from the baseline.
Hands out, hands out.
Receives now off Timmins. He rolled to the cup. It was knocked away.
See, that's a poor pass to me because he's so big. You want to get that ball up in the air for him to jump. Trying to catch it down by his ankles is tough for anyone.
Weeks comes out, Josh Majette back in. Only 2 field goal attempts in the opening quarter.
And the 4 assists, making some things happen.
Here he is at the top of the key. Steindl gave it up for Krislovic. Nice offense, Tasmania.
Great pass.
That's how simple it has been. A little pick and roll.
That's his first foul. Shoot one. Let's hear you.
Rasmus Barks, first foul. Krislovic makes the extra. There's 4 rebounds in the game already. Now to go with his 3 points. McDowell White upstairs for Timmins. Got a bit of a flat tire, but New Zealand get it back. Seaver. Timmins rolls to the cup. Timed his cut to perfection.
Great pass.
Oh, McIntosh picked up a bit of a stinger in the corner just before. Seems to be all right. Jack McVeigh back into the game with his 2 early fouls.
The Breakers can't get any closer than this margin. It's been around the 7 or 8 points for most of this first half. Krislovic over the top. Doubleheader tomorrow in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Melbourne take on Brisbane at John Cain Arena, and then Perth for what is now a crucial game for them. Play host to the Cairns Taipans. Seaver short. Even for Melbourne, Halls, they need to keep winning because of Sydney.
Exactly right. Every game crucial. This weekend will tell us a lot. We saw at the end of the NBA regular season a lot of stars getting rested heading into the finals. I'm not sure too many teams will have that opportunity with how close everything is.
Nice work from McDowell White to keep Krislovic off the glass. Second last game of the season for the Breakers. One more assignment next Sunday when they play the Adelaide 36ers.
Could you imagine that flight going home, Jack? Could you just imagine getting off that plane in New Zealand?
I think they'll be pretty happy to land
I'm happy
at
for
the
him.
airport.
I'm happy for him.
They'll be happy with that 3 from McDowell White. Scott Roth, on the other hand,
Well, he called that
not as
timeout
happy.
before. As they were bringing the ball down, he called the timeout. It's a good knockdown from Will McDowell White. Well defended by Krislovic. Didn't matter. 7-point ball game.
We're going to listen to Scott Roth, coach of the JackJumpers, to the strains of the Wenger bus.
We'll live with that, all right? You tested 3 at there. We'll live with that. Matt, you're going to bring it. Jack. Jet, just a little zipper action. Into the corner. Fab, just wait. Yeah. J.A., coming to get you. All right? Hey, 5 minutes here. 5 minutes here. Smart basketball, disciplined. Gang rebound down there, all right? 50-50 balls are ours. Come on, keep talking. Together, 1, 2, 3, together.
As always, pretty cool, calm and collected. Scott Roth.
He is, and he's been like that the whole year. I mean, to get those guys to buy into what he's preaching is amazing to me. First-year coach, head coach anyway. And you bring together 12 guys who've never played together, and they do what these guys are doing right now. You haven't seen that in the NBL in a very long time. I don't think you've ever seen it.
Krislovic, he's back to the basket. Shot clock down to 10. Goes with the left hand. Nice D from Timmins. Did well not to give away a foul. Here's Finn Delaney, coach. Just 1 field goal attempt in the game so far.
Nice good pass from Will McDowell-White. He's starting to make some things happen. Finn Delaney, right spot, right time, and really JackJumpers right now. Trying to put Finn Delaney in something to pick up his third foul.
Picked up those two early in the first quarter of the game.
Or even just go at him one-on-one.
That's why I wouldn't be surprised. A minute or two, you bring Kyle McIntosh back in. Just let him try his bully ball.
McDowell-White, this time baseline. Foul.
Great pass.
It's a great pass. He saw it playing out a lot earlier than past it, but Will McDowell-White sort of give us a little something there. People are forgetting. He had a dunk of the year contender.
Yes, please.
Against the Phoenix.
Very early in the season.
Very early in the season.
Yeah.
And when it happened, it shocked everybody, but everyone was like, okay, that's going to be tough to beat. And then a couple that followed after that made it even harder.
Am I right in saying McDowell-White and Creek were in the same round?
I believe so.
Yeah.
And it might have been the following round was the Jalen Adams game tying.
That was it a couple of weeks after, maybe?
Well, it was very close. Antonius Cleveland had a couple as well.
Sure did.
Man, there's some talent in this league. Huh?
No denying that. McVeigh got Tasmania going early. He's back out there now to try and make things happen.
Wow.
Chris Levitt used his body. Adams. No good. Timmons wrestles it away from McVeigh. And the Breakers could potentially tie it up. This trip down the floor, they scored the last 7 points. McDowell-White for three. That's off target. 4 of 16 from outside the arc in his first half, the New Zealand Breakers. Tasmania, 2 of 10. McVeigh.
Great pass.
Well, that's been their easy offense in the first half. Just roll it in on a pick and roll. Really simple basketball. Wait for the breakdown.
Just settle things down a little bit for them. Bark swings to Delaney. He gave up his 3 ball to get in deeper. Good decision. His first or second field goal of the game.
I like what Will McDowell-White's brought to the second quarter. The way he's attacking, making the extra pass, unselfish decisions. Good ball movement.
The Kenyan showing his athleticism, misses. There's Jack McVeigh.
That's that energy I was talking about earlier. You have to know where he is at all times. Box him out. He's diving at balls. He's playing multiple positions. He makes a difference.
McVeigh up to 9 points on 4 of 5. Knocked out of bounds by Majet. Think about the Breakers, Copes. The season and the trials and tribulations that they've had the last 2 seasons. Even tonight, the motivation to still be in the game. They're going to finish last. It's going to be, unfortunately for New Zealand, their worst finish in franchise history. They're still within a few points.
Absolutely. And again, it comes from that head coach. Dan Shamir's on the sideline barking instructions. He's engaged with the referees.
Rob Lowe.
And it's not about the record. It's more about them getting better. And that's what he's brought to the table.
Back to 3 once again. 8 points for Rob Lowe.
That's more points he's had all year, isn't it?
Every time he's been given an opportunity, Rob Lowe, when Wetzel's not been playing or injured, he's made the most of it. So we tick down to 2 minutes before halftime. The Psalms trying to get Seaver involved. Now has to go to plan B, and that'll be an offensive foul.
Defensive foul. Offensive is the most bigger. They beat you up all the time. You're calling offensive foul. What about the defensive foul?
Elbow to the head, I think.
Trying to fight
I
through
don't
it.
think he was able to see that.
Number 15,
Not sure there's much to dispute there, is there? No. First minutes for Jock Perry. Adams pass a little nonchalant. New Zealand trying to cash in at the other end. Low scores, and we've got ourselves a one-point game.
He's been good.
Big man running the floor and getting rewarded for it. Hugo Besson, Pete, now has 4 assists.
Just good outlet pass, but that doesn't happen unless Rob Lowe runs the floor like he did.
Loose ball.
Well, that's been their issue. When they do play good half-court defense, they don't come up with the rebound. 7 offensive rebounds for the JackJumpers.
Do you imagine
No
practices
possession, so 14's good.
with Kenya and McVeigh, the way they hustle and the way they... just imagine being in practice one day with these guys.
Perry in the corner. Hands off to Majet. Swings cross court. Seaver saw it coming. Here go the Breakers to take the lead.
Tell you what we just saw. We just saw a baseline out of bounds play ran specifically for a flare corner 3 ball for Jock Perry.
Yeah.
Blown up, but that's what they were going for. Look.
He can shoot it though. You know
He
he can
can.
knock it down, but
We
that's
don't
probably
often
the
see that.
Nah, not for... You're right.
Timeout called. Last minute of this opening half, and Rob Lowe will be on the free throw line to put New Zealand in front.
He's been good.
You got over there, and you're switching everything. Okay?
Remember that big guy's a shooter. Finny. Keep talking then, switch there. Even though it's like kind of obvious, just make sure you yell it out.
Okay. ATO here. Remember the ATO that you dish it to, you touch it over here, you touch it to Hugo. Okay, you're setting this screen over here. Okay, and Tom, you'll be on that side. Finn, you'll be here. You're setting the screen, they drop now. Okay, and Tom will get a flare for Rob over here. So you touch it, you come off the screen. Okay, you touch it, you're going to the corner. Okay, you're going to the corner. Touch it, go off the screen, and set the flare screen. Okay, yes. Okay, watch the screen. Let's go.
Here we go, break 23.
1 minute, boys, finish strong.
They're in the hunt right now.
Well, they are. See if they can execute what Dan Shamir was drawing up.
Hugo Besson, 4 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals in the opening half. We normally associate Besson as being a scorer. That's the first thing we look at, is the way he shoots the ball, but he's been involved in everything in the first half. The Breakers are in front. They led for the first 40 seconds of the game and haven't led since then. The score at that stage was 2-0.
We spoke about them staying in the game, staying focused. That's a hard thing to do, Jack. We talk about it, but that's a hard thing to do. When you're losing every game, you've lost 10 games in a row, or 11 games in a row, or 8 in a row, however it is, and come out here and play night in and night out and compete.
Late in the shot clock, Adams gets downhill and is on the foul.
Well, for so long as well, the JackJumpers, look, talking about the past 2 weeks, and we're talking about them potentially making finals. It was still looking very, very unlikely with the 4 teams that are currently sitting in those positions. So I think the JackJumpers deep down would have known that as well, thinking, look, we'll try and win as many as we can. It's still an incredible story to finish over 500 in the season. And then as now Perth started to lose a couple, all of a sudden this becomes a real possibility, and you can fall into this trap of thinking, okay, we're playing the Breakers, we'll get this one.
Yep.
Who have we got next? Oh, we'll get that one. And then who are we trying to watch to see if Perth lose to?
Yep.
It's kind of how this vibe's gone in the second quarter.
Instead of continuing to play the way you
Exactly
play.
right.
And it's easy for a team, a new team. You don't have any real veteran guys on this team to let them know how to play.
Sol threw that one away. Majet's got Adams. Look out! jet into the stands. Fell into the lap of Brent Costello there.
You know, he's an athlete, Josh Adams, but looks like I hurt a little bit, don't I? His usual elevation.
That's not going to make his highlight reel at the end of the
I
season.
wouldn't think so.
It's a great highlight reel.
You jealous, Pete? It was a dunk, bro.
Man, our boards have harder than that.
As Rob Lowe adds in 2 more to finish off the first half. His highest score of the season with 14 points, and New Zealand, to their credit, are within 1.
Fantastic.
Let's have another look at this from Josh Adams. Gets out in the break and just got it over the rim in the end.
He looks a little bit sore. Let's get down to Jack McVeigh, who's courtside for us at MyState Bank Arena. Jack, at quarter time, things looked like they were cruising nicely, but the Breakers have fought their way back into this game.
Yeah, they can play. They're filled with talent. We've got to be better on the defensive end. We can't give up 44 points and expect to win games.
On the offensive end in the first half, looked like getting a lot of easy buckets with simple pick and rolls. What are you looking for on the offensive end?
Yeah, we know teams are switching and keeping that ball hot, moving it and finding the open man.
Jack, thanks so much for joining us. We'll catch you in the second half.
Thanks, guys.
It's a 1-point lead for Tasmania, 45-44. Must-win game for the JackJumpers. Don't go too far. The halftime show is coming up next. It's halftime on Good Friday basketball in the Hungry Jacks NBL. The Tasmania JackJumpers have got a fight on their hands. They lead 45-44. If anyone thought that the Breakers were just going to lie down in their second last game of the season, they've got other ideas.
Well, this is the way they've been playing the second half for sure. They've just been fighting every single possession. Everyone's playing with more confidence. When they were at full strength and healthy, they were bothering some teams, but they just hadn't had that consistently enough all season. Then getting the word that they wouldn't be heading home was always going to make the job harder. But you're right, and we spoke a little bit about the mindset of the JackJumpers. No doubt about it, after last night's game, their mindset has changed, because all of a sudden, we probably won't make finals, but we never know. Became a possibility with Perth stumbling against Adelaide. So Scott Roth will have some words to say at half-time to try and snap them back into that laser-sharp focus. Jack McVeigh was excellent after picking up 2 early fouls, but Rob Lowe, how good's he been?
Outstanding by Rob Lowe, 14 points, season high for him. Coach, with the Breakers, they've shared the basketball a lot tonight. A lot of the focus recently has been on Basson and Zheng, but everyone's getting a lick of the ice cream.
I think Will McDowell-White came in and changed the game. He passed the ball well. He got everyone involved. He knocked down a couple of shots. And they look like a team that looks like they can play in the playoffs. Again, they're missing their gun, Wetzel, but if they continue to play like this, they got a chance of winning this game.
14 assists on 14 made field goals. It's a good number for the Breakers from the first half. For the JackJumpers, it all started with Jack McVeigh. He is their spark guy. He's their energy guy. And it's no coincidence that his minutes on the floor were when Tasmania were in front.
Well, we talked about the struggles of the JackJumpers as a whole in the first 4 or 5 rounds. A lot of that changed as a team, but it changed when Jack McVeigh started to realise that he had to be that guy. That was him in his career with Adelaide 36ers. A lot of it was coming off the bench. He realised that he's got to set a tone. And however long he's out there, he's got to play the way that Jack McVeigh does, and that's what he's been doing. Shoots the open 3 really well. If you leave him open, let him get close. Finishes with both hands extremely well as well. He's an energizer bunny, and it's just a different role than he's been used to, but he's done well in the last few months.
We spoke to Jack just a few minutes ago, Copes. He said they gave up 44 at half-time. That's not a number we normally associate with Tasmania.
Absolutely. They play defense, and that's why they've been winning so many games. When they play defense, they shut people down. And I'm sure Roth has had a word with them at halftime, and you'll watch the energy when these guys come out the second half, and you'll see a different team.
Second half coming up very, very shortly. Both teams making their way back out onto My State Bank Arena. But let's go back to last night. Please, Illawarra and Sydney. In fact, it may have been the best game of the Hungry Jacks NBL season.
Absolutely the best game. Look, first quarter, these guys came out on fire, and everyone was on fire. It was almost as if they weren't playing defense, but the offense was just that good. And full house in Wollongong, and they played like a team, 2 teams that could play in the grand final.
Well, they're currently setting up to play in a semi-final series. They play each other again next weekend, so last night could have been a game 1 of 5, potentially, in terms of what they could play in 2 weeks. How exciting was it? You mentioned everyone knocking down shots. Tyler Harvey, that was the Tyler Harvey we saw last year. He could not miss. Ian Clark made some big shots down the stretch, but this was super exciting. And as you mentioned, Copes, the crowd was fantastic. So if we end up with a semi-final series as the Freeway Series, the Kudos Bank Arena is going to be rocking. I would love to see nothing more. That's going to be epic to watch if that's how it happens.
And Sydney had to do it down the stretch without Jalen Adams as well.
They did. Look, and again, he cramped up, but because they have so many great players on this team, they didn't miss a beat. They're in second place, tied for first, actually, but percentages are down a little bit. But
they can still get to first, Sydney. They've got a couple of games to come. They'll play Adelaide, Cairns and Illawarra to finish off the season. So they can still finish on top of the table. If they don't, it's most likely they'll play Illawarra in the semis.
Well, that last game's going to be huge when they play each other, because there's going to be so much riding on it, and that's another reason why Melbourne United got to make sure they keep winning.
We'll see United tomorrow night against the Brisbane Bullets, and we'll see the second half of this one in a few moments' time. It's the JackJumpers who lead it by 1. Third quarter coming up in just a few moments from My State Bank Arena in Hobart. Tasmania lead 45-44. There's Rob Lowe, Copes. You want to show this man some love for his first half.
Look, he's played great the first half, and if I'm him, I'm thinking Will McDowell-White because most of his shots have come from passes, pick and rolls, rolling to the basket. This is the best he's played all year.
We had a couple of good games, as we mentioned, with Wetzel out, but with no Yanni Wetzel tonight, no Jeng, the rest of the team, obviously, Will McDowell-White, Rob Lowe, you have more freedom to play because you know you're going to get that opportunity, but you're going to be able to play through mistakes. Back when at full strength, when they finally had some games at full strength, a mistake from Rob Lowe.
He's coming out.
He's coming out. He's sitting down.
Yeah.
Or if playing at all. So all of that, and Dan Shamir saying, look, you have to play.
I got to play you tonight.
And that's why he gets to play with that bit of confidence, which can be really dangerous if you're the JackJumpers.
And he used to be a very good player, man. He used to knock down those threes back in the day, and he sort of lost a bit, but yeah.
I mean, it's happened all season. You talk about the Taipans, when they've had their injuries all season long, and they've been able to be competitive and step up with those injuries because it does give that little bit of confidence to players to be able to play through mistakes, extended opportunity.
This is another one that's had a disrupted couple of seasons. They only played 17 games last year as Basalt tries to start from outside. Went home for the birth of his son last season, so missed a lot of the year. And then this year, averaging a little less than 10 minutes a game, Copes.
And I get it, because when you got a guy like Wetzel who's automatic down low, then it's hard to break that seal. It's hard to break time when a guy that good is playing.
Basalt, the swing from Seaver. Delaney looks like he's second-guessing himself a bit tonight.
That was a third guess. Take the shot. You're wide open.
McVeigh through the contact.
Pick and roll.
Scores from underneath.
He scores so easy, doesn't he?
Just pick and roll. That's all they were doing in the first half. They were scoring so simply.
The JackJumpers are the worst third-quarter team in the competition. They only average 17 points a game in this period. They'll need to be better than that tonight. And one for Lowe.
16 points. Rob Lowe just hanging around in the right spots.
He's still probably the biggest guy on the floor, though, so you remember.
Well, we talked a bit about Yanni Wetzel, about how good he has been. When it comes to awards night, all NBL first team, you have to pick two of Joe Lyle-Chul, which you assume will be there, Vic Law, Yanni Wetzel, Xavier Cooks, Mitch Creek.
Wow.
Only two inside players are going to get, and even still, one of them is going to miss out completely.
That's tough.
Do you want a minute to think about that, Coach? We'll come back to it at the timeout. Banging away. All NBL second team is going to be fun to pick because there's going to be a lot of guys left over. Low, hard to the basket.
Oh, both ends, just a bit of a pick and roll shot.
8 of 10 from the field for the big man, 19 points.
It's nothing overly complicated. Set a screen, bigs are rolling, good passes.
Was it Wetzel or was it the system? That's a question. Jeez, he's scoring too easily here.
The whistle there for a foul. And Tom Abercrombie, first of the period for the Breakers. Dan Shamir hasn't spent as much time with his feet over the other side of the line tonight, which is always good.
He's coming, though. Give him time.
Yeah. And the jet baseline looks for McVeigh. Receiver. Kenyon outstanding. Chopped it down, won it for McVeigh, and Adams misses the tip in, stole it out of the lap of McVeigh.
That's good hustle.
Breakers have scored the last 5. Abercrombie, 2 points in the game so far. Delaney sent McVeigh the other way, did everything but score. It's New Zealand who lead it by 2. Adams drives, draws a foul, and it goes.
Good finish. Basson was doing what Dan Shamir wanted, high hands, not allowing the three ball. What it did, it brought him out of his stance. You could see him there, hands up, was standing straight up, so he had no way to be down low enough to move sideways in time to stop and recover to get in front of Josh Adams.
He's another one that's changed his game a little bit, because the first couple of weeks, it was all about him trying to score as many points as he could. Now he's playing team basketball, and he just looks so much better as a player.
I love the Dan Shamir soundtrack. It's great. Basson, 1 of 7 so far tonight. Crosses over, gets all the way in and misses.
A lot of contact. That was a tough move, well defended.
It's fair to say Dan Shamir wanted a foul.
Absolutely. Now, although Basson isn't scoring well, he's still involved. 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals.
Josh Magette has 4 points after that layup. JackJumpers out by 3. Peyton Seaver cuts through and scores with a free throw to come.
So when I spoke to Peyton Seaver after Bendigo, he was frustrated with how he came in. He said he came in, he felt not underdone, but that something wasn't right. We know he pulled his hamstring and looked a bit out of place in the blitz. I mean, the way too early predictions months before that, I had him as an MVP. Just what he did over in Europe, excellent resume coming in. He hasn't lived up to that standard, but he's shown flashes, and he said he's slowly be able to come to adapt to the NBL.
Was there talk early? Didn't he get hurt, or was there talk about letting him go or something?
I think it was round 2 or round 3. Did his hamstring the first minute of a game against the Phoenix. Round 2 it was. So they played the Phoenix back-to-back games, and then they all had COVID, so they had a chance to be able to rest him.
And then there was the situation where Jason Randall arrived, and they had 4 imports at that stage, and there was a story written and a bit of discussion, as you say, Copes, of whether Peyton Seaver would be the one to go. Ultimately, it was Jeremiah Martin who was let go.
Right. But there was talk about releasing Seaver as well, and the way he's played 2 years ago in Europe, I was thinking, no way.
Adams drives, misses the layup. His frustrations continue to build. 4 of 12 from the field. The pick and roll game has been fantastic for New Zealand. Not that time Delaney. And Rob Lowe, bottom of the net.
Make a couple of layups and that basket gets bigger and bigger, doesn't it?
Rob Lowe, 22 points on 9 of 11. 4 rebounds, a couple of blocks.
This is more than a reminder from Rob Lowe of his talent. It's a statement. Nice take from Kenyon. This game has gone up a notch.
Well, it has. I don't think the JackJumpers expected them to be in this position right now. 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. There's Rob Lowe. We know he can step out and shoot that 3 ball, but even in the couple of minutes he did play, when Wetzel was playing, didn't play with confidence at all.
No.
And just looked like he knew at one mistake could be in a bit of trouble.
But if you get this Rob Lowe and Wetzel doesn't come back, do you now look for another player, or do you leave him?
No, you need a big guy. Rob Lowe, if you can get him to be that spark off the bench.
It's footwork from Finn Delaney. It's just not happening for him tonight.
He can't buy a shot.
JackJumpers down 1. McIntosh thought about it, then slipped over.
This game's changed so much.
Clock down to 4. Magette from a long way out.
No one takes the wide open shot anymore. Everyone wants to put the ball on the floor and think they can get a better shot. They end up taking a worse shot or turning the ball over.
There's no way you give that up.
What? I'm shooting. If I got an inch, I'm letting it fly, bro.
You know how much daylight he needed?
None.
Midnight.
But you see what I mean, though? You drive and you kick for someone to shoot it, and then they drive trying to get a better shot. By the time it's all over, you got 2 seconds and you take a worse shot. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Seaver, he's wide open. That's a perfect shot.
That's what happens when you take the wide open shot, Pete. You learn every day, huh?
Coach Copeland, have a look at him.
I've been there. It's not fired, but I've been there. Great pass.
Easy two for Majet. Things break down defensively.
Shamir didn't like that, did he?
New Zealand maintain this 2-point lead. They led when it was 2-0. Their next lead after that was 42-41. Galloway upstairs.
They better do something about that pick and roll, Pete, because let me tell you, they're scoring at will on the pick and roll.
Well, both teams are, really. It's that simple. Fouls on Jack McVeigh. Here's that one you're talking about, Coach. Just a cross-court pass, catch and shoot, have your feet set and ready. And a lot of the time, I think the issue is that maybe players aren't ready. There's that dunk from Galloway. They're not ready. They're not in the stance. They're not ready to prepare to just catch and shoot. And I tell you what, that man, he's always ready.
Always ready.
There's a couple of players on every team around the league.
Only 7 minutes tonight for Clint Steindl.
He's been a bit down the last couple of weeks, too, hasn't he?
He was 2 of 7 against Cairns last week. Basson. Offensive board on McDowell White has been important for New Zealand. It's his 4th rebound. Clock down to 2. Basson for 3.
And one of those nights, Basson missed a couple of open ones. 1 of 10 from the field. Has got 6 rebounds and 6 assists.
Adams drives and scores. Extra free throw on its way.
Good take here from Josh Adams. Oh, just the how you doing with the right foot into Rasmus Bark? Yeah, Rasmus Bark, below the equator. That is, as unfortunate as it gets. You are not involved in the play whatsoever. And
you don't care what's going on.
You are just focused about being in the right position on strong side help. And you cop an errant foot when no one wants to get hit.
Back to 1. 3 minutes before three-quarter time. A reminder, Tasmania needing to win all 3 games to potentially be a finalist this season in their first year. A loss tonight is not part of their script.
Not at all.
Jason Randall. Bark once more. Knocks it down.
That's what you're talking about, these lower teams. Adelaide last night, they can be spoilers.
Rasmus Bark 3 of 3 from the field. +5 in his time out on the floor tonight. Late in the clock, McIntosh will have to step back.
Oh,
it goes.
Okay.
Jeez.
All right.
Maybe I will bring him back. I don't know.
Just a 23% three-point shooter this season, Mikhail McIntosh. An important one for them. Chase and Randall in the corner.
That's an outstanding pass from Will McDowell-White.
He's been doing that all night. He's involved.
Jason Randall's first points. It's a fascinating case, Randall, Pete. His first 6 games here in the Hungry Jacks NBL averaged 13 points as McIntosh is fouled heavily by Galloway. Free throws to come. So averaged 13 in his first 6 games. As Rasmus Bark knocks down this one. His last 5 games have been 0-1-6-0-0.
Well, you talk a little bit about the leash tightening or shortening on certain players. It happened to him, which you don't often see with imports, when especially they come in late in the season. But the more Jeng played well, Basson played well, then Benjamin is thinking, okay, look, I'm going to be giving these guys 30-odd minutes because they're performing now. It's not just because the next stars and the hype, they're performing. So then all of a sudden Randall, well, if you're not going to do what I want, then I'm going to throw someone else out there who will do it.
119 NBA games chasing Randall, and he's had his leash pulled by the coach.
That's what happens.
He's not the first player who's played NBA games to come down and find the struggle to get adapted to the NBL.
One person comes to mind is Ding Adele. Remember Ding Adele?
Yeah.
Just a talent, man. He a talent, but just did not play like he belonged in his league.
Step back, no good for McDowell White. And that will be an offensive foul.
Just as clear as day, huh?
Well, that's the one thing he's got a little better at, but so foul prone. Didn't have to do it, Mikhail McIntosh. Dang it, I remember him clearly. We played the Raptors and he was in the preseason game, and he came on at three-quarter time. We were already down big time. I think he had 18 points in 12 minutes. But that's the NBA spacing. The NBA spacing is different to the NBL. The defense is different.
I had Ding Adele when he was 9 years old in the academy. Called him Babyface because he looked like a baby, and he had the same moves back then that he has now. Just long and gets to the basket. Was not afraid of anyone. I was so surprised to see the way he played here. Disappointed because he just didn't have it.
Both teams are in the bonus. Free throws for McDowell White. Talking about the blueprint for Tasmania and how they've been able to get this thing moving so quickly in their first season. A lot of discussion around in the last 48 hours about a potential next franchise here in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Canberra has been mentioned as a possible destination.
I thought I heard Wagga Wagga.
Have you been to Canberra?
Of course.
I'm just asking.
NBL1 trips.
Former home of the Cannons, obviously.
The first team I played against in the NBL in my career.
What'd you have?
Well, yeah, point. He knows exactly.
Why were you asking about points? I thought you meant minutes. I played 42 minutes.
Probably had 42 FGAs.
Oh, wow. Did I know? Okay. Oh, wow. I had 37 points.
Did you?
Rod Laver Arena.
Now, if anybody listening at home, he's not even looked that up.
Because they had it on last couple of weeks ago.
Straight off the dome.
Man, it's your first game in the NBL.
Pete, what was your debut like compared to Cope's? What year was that, Cope?
97 points in Adelaide.
92.
Before I went and did my ankle in OKC.
Just having a look at it here. Against the Cannons, 37 points.
How many assists?
14 of 27 from the field.
That's 50%.
Just the one assist in the game.
I mean, they didn't bring me this far to pass.
Exactly right. You didn't get paid the big bucks to pass the ball.
But you got to remember, too, there was no direct flights here. It took me about 2 days to get here.
Rasmus Bark having a good night. He's in the double figures now. McIntosh had his shot partially blocked by Galloway, and then a foul. More free throws coming for New Zealand.
Drewy wasn't here in that first game? No, there you go. That's exactly why.
What do you mean?
You had some shots.
Oh, yeah. We work well together.
Can you call the push-off, please?
And my apologies, that's an offensive foul against New Zealand. Hence why Dan Shamir's not happy. Steindl off the inbound. It's good.
That's the Steindl we know.
2-point game, 30 seconds before three-quarter time. No team has led by more than 4 points since the 3-minute mark of the game. And at that stage, it was a 5-point lead. McDowell White crosses over, drives and tried to finish off with the left hand. It looked good. Didn't get the end result. McIntosh off the bank. It's the Breakers who look like being the party spoilers with a quarter to play. 70-68 at MyState Bank Arena. Don't go too far. The fourth quarter is coming up next in the Hungry Jacks NBL. You're watching Good Friday basketball in the Hungry Jacks NBL. New Zealand lead it by 2 at three-quarter time, 70-68, trying to snap an 8-game losing streak. They played some really good minutes tonight without Yanni Wetzel and without Ousmane Dieng.
They have, and look, there's been a lot of high pick and rolls. Rob Lowe in particular taking advantage of that. 9 for 11, 22 points. And it's been some years since we said that about Rob Lowe.
They've got 21 assists on 23 made field goals. That ball is zipping around, doing a lot of simple stuff.
Steinel's pass missed the intended target. Abercrombie, no foul called. The officials letting it go, but it'll be a New Zealand ball. Rob Lowe has 22 points tonight on 9 of 11. His career high, we're into that stage now, career high is 24.
Wow.
Against the Taipans in January 2020.
That'll help.
There it is.
There it is. Career high night for Rob Lowe.
You'd love to see it. It's just, yeah, it's one thing to be able to know you're going to get the opportunity with a key piece missing, but to be able to take it the way he has, Jared Weeks just answers straight back for his first field goal of the game.
So you're saying if no Wetzel, he's not good enough to maintain that spot?
I don't think they will go. I don't think they'll start him next season.
Right.
I'm not sure his contract situation either.
Randall wanted a foul, but bucket counts all the same. Four-point lead for New Zealand, who have won just 5 games this season. Weeks to make it 2. McDaniel reels in that loose ball. Back to where they started with Weeks. Late in the clock. Great take. Big basket from Jared Weeks.
That's huge. It's getting downhill, and New Zealand breakers have to know that here's that first pass, just a nice simple pick and pop. Jake McVeigh kind of knew straight away that he'd lost a little slip out of the screen. Down this end, Jared Weeks just missed 3 shooting over Rob Lowe. You've got to think as the breakers, the rest of the help defense, he might try and put this on the floor and get around with the mismatch. So try to load up behind him, don't leave him on an island.
And there's the extra. Jared Weeks was very good last week, plus 15 against Cairns. He has 6 points in a short space of time in this fourth quarter. Oh, McDowell White. No good. Weeks back to McDaniel. Shot clock at 8. Turns the corner, the mid-range jumper off target. McDowell White, 4 assists in the game, 5 rebounds to go with his 9 points. Played with a bit of freedom tonight. Been good to see. Low with the size advantage.
Jeez, Low.
Good bark.
He had Weeks on him.
That's not his game. Those post moves from there to get all the way down low. But again, I'm surprised where his release is as well. Just face up. I'm going to shoot a free throw over Jared Weeks.
That's your body. Okay, let's go here, guys.
I think there'll be a few people in Perth watching tonight cheering for the Breakers.
Oh, 15,000.
Probably more than that.
Probably plus 11.
Yeah.
1.
They'll play Cairns tomorrow night. Home game at RAC Arena.
Thanks, Jared.
Perth have lost 3 in a row. Is it 3 in a row at home? Ooh. That's never happened in... Has that ever happened? I don't think it has.
It's not the run home that I think everyone thought that they were going to get, is it?
I must admit, I thought they were going to win all 9 games at home. When I heard they had Because they were playing good basketball on the way to Perth.
Yeah.
And I said, the way they're playing, and you're going home, you'll get these 9 games.
Jason Randall buries the 3. Scott Roth has seen enough. 80-74. The Breakers lead at MyState Bank Arena.
Well, this has catastrophe written all over it if you're a Jack Jumper. For how well they've been playing all season, the big scalps they've had, the way they've gone about their business. If they stumble in this one against a team that's missing their best player in Yanni Wetzel and someone who's been very good over the last few months, Usman Jeng, this would be a really tough way to have the finals door slammed shut.
But it's so if they lose tonight and win the remaining 2, they still have a chance, though. Yeah?
Their percentage is not going to help them.
Right.
Their percentage is, they really have to have a better record than Perth, which, again, who knows what could happen in Perth. But
all speculation. So the good thing is we just like to see good basketball and people going at it. It means something.
Great to have your company on Good Friday Basketball. New Zealand lead by 6 off the back of Jason Randall. Feet set, splash.
3 of 3 from the field, 2 of 2 from 3 for his 8 points. Only played 7 minutes.
We've seen that he can do it.
He's out there right now in some key minutes because Will McDowell-White, he's been really good.
McVeigh for 3. It's good.
Need that. See now they're trying to press full court. Trying to lift the energy. They've gone small. Jack McVeigh at the 5. Then Steiner with the 4. Just switch everything.
And post up. Smart basketball. You got Jack McVeigh, your biggest guy out on the floor against Rob Lowe. Swing that ball and throw it in the box.
His hands from Bark. Randall can't finish. Couple of missed opportunities.
This is another thing you want to do with the Jack Jumpers, the way they're switching everything. They're trying to be aggressive up full court. I want to slow it down a little bit. I want to really try and make them work. Get tired and make a mistake and punish them. That's the last thing they want down this end.
Their 10th turnover of the game, Tasmania.
The Jets been pretty quiet as well. Only 2 for 7 with 8 assists though, but in 5 rebounds. But
speaking of teams cheering for the Breakers, Illawarra will be cheering for the Breakers because if they win, Illawarra are locked in as a finalist. And then we're down to one available slot. That's caught a foot on the way past from McIntosh.
smart veteran play there by Rob Lowe.
Matt Kenny doesn't like it, but it's exactly what it was. Rob Lowe knew what he was doing. He wasn't going to win a foot race. So see here, just getting it all. A bit of a shepherd.
Behaviour warning. Continue to comply.
The referee was looking from that angle. He might have had something there, but you can't see that running next to him.
Low from halfway. Everything else has gone down tonight.
In the end, it was turnover anyway.
Adams cuts his way through. No foul call. Kenyon gave up the three. Majet. Down to Adams. Draws contact.
Good take there from Adams. Had nothing really going on the offensive end.
Shots, two.
21 points when they played in round 4, 11 in round 9, and 6 in round 14.
Does he get an invitation back next year, Pete?
I think Josh Adams has been really good. And again, the way he's adapted. When you're a coach and you have that conversation after round 4 or 5 or whatever it was, to have an import buy into it the way that he has and embrace that culture, I think that's crucial. And again, I'm not sure what they're going to look for, what they want to build on next year. Will Magnate's health is going to be a big key piece. You want to make sure you keep getting better, but you also want to make sure you have guys that have already bought into a culture. We've seen so many imports come and go over the last few years that don't fit certain cultures. And this is, make no mistake, the JackJumpers culture is unique compared to a lot of the other ones in the league.
Bark. Rebound by McVeigh. Tassie to take the lead this trip down the floor. Majette gave up a layup. It's Adams. Hits the side of the backboard.
I didn't even look at the hoop. Yes. Majette, 8 assists on the night.
McIntosh picks up his third.
That's his third back.
Peyton Siva, 12 points, 4 of 8 shooting. Started a little cold, but he's got himself going now. 4 assists to go with it.
3 steals as well. Always gets his hand a couple of deflections and steals.
2 in the competition in that stat. There's a turnover. Adams, aggressive. Tasmania in front.
Well, off the mistakes of the JackJumpers. No, of the breakers, sorry. The JackJumpers have managed to put it back and forth, bit of extracurricular.
Nice play by Siva. He's going to be on the free throw line. Eyes were, I think I was like you, Coach. My eyes were kind of drawn to Josh Adams and Hugo Besson. That trip down the floor.
Still going, is it?
Bit of how you doing?
Nothing wrong with a little rumble in the jungle. Nothing wrong with it.
Okay, you're warning him for this?
82% from the line this season, Peyton Siva. Sorry about that.
That's 100% your fault. That one didn't look like missing.
That's more like it.
Got ourselves a ball game.
Had a couple of close ones last night. We've backed it up with another one here in the Hungry Jacks NBL. 3.5 minutes left. Majette got it.
There we go.
Timeout New Zealand. As Tasmania now lead by 3.
Just having a look top right of the frame here, just Besson and Adams just getting a little physical and Besson not liking it too much. That's a footy tag. So they're going to keep going here, and then Delaney's going to come in and help out the young fella, and don't hold my hand, sir. You know what we call that? Mayonnaise.
Is that mayonnaise?
That is absolute mayo. And then McIntosh and Delaney had a little back and forth as well.
Josh Majette drains that one. A bit to talk about for New Zealand. One thing that they can be really pleased with tonight is the output of Rob Lowe.
And he has been magnificent. Just feed him like a baby, dropping it off, easy layups, playing defense, knocking down threes. I think he's had his career high 25 points tonight. He's playing like a man possessed. I keep asking the question to Pete, do you bring him back at the 5 with him?
Oh, I thought you just start, or
Yes,
just in
to
general?
start.
Well, I think you can definitely find a place for him, but I'm not sure about starting role if you want to get that output all season long with some of the bigs that we've seen in the league. He's shown for his whole career that he can have these games, he can have these performances. We haven't seen it too much this season. I definitely think there should be a spot for him.
He struggles more on the defensive end.
Well, we saw it right after you were asking me that a few minutes ago. He got taken off the dribble by Jared Weeks, but those mismatches you're going to see, a lot of that goes to the team for not backing him up. But again, huge credit to him for what he's done in this game. Every time he's had the opportunity, an extended opportunity, he's delivered this season.
He's a veteran. I mean, he's done it before. He knows how to play. A lot of his confidence and getting the opportunity.
4 points for Besson, 1 of 10 from the field. McIntosh up in the air. Did well not to foul. It's a Tasmania ball.
It's going to stay Breakers ball in the end.
My apologies.
Get a chance. Cut into this lead or tie it up. Well, that looked illegal.
Big rebound, JackJumpers. McIntosh's 6th of the night. 84-81. Adams spinning on Delaney. Tried to get Kenyon involved.
It's extremely well defended from Finn Delaney, one-on-one. Didn't bite on the face, just used his body, moved his feet. That was outstanding.
Ooh.
Not sure what Silver was doing there, Coach.
He was got a couple of mishaps.
The Jet reaching in is called for the foul. Tasmania's 4th of the quarter.
Look at this, just
Stays down, move his feet.
staying down.
Just active.
And the hands active at the end to blow up the pass. That's exceptionally well done by Finn Delaney.
And that's what I mean about a team that hadn't won a lot of games. It's almost the end of the year. We're going home. But to put in that kind of effort with 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
Lowe gave a push, got away with it. Back to 1. 27 points for Rob Lowe. 11 of 14.
Wow.
2 minutes to play. The JackJumpers' finals hopes hang on the result of this game. Adams. Breakers go to sleep and give Tasmania an offensive rebound. Adams off the window with the left hand.
That's a big breakdown.
The 11th offensive rebound of the game for Tasmania results in an important 2 points. Seaver no good. No rush here for the JackJumpers. One successful trip down the floor and it makes life very difficult for New Zealand. Spin from McIntosh. Misses the layup. The twists and turns in this one.
Scott Roth saying, get him off the three-point line.
Seaver steps back. Misses by a considerable margin. The full 24 available here for Tasmania. They lead by 3. Adams saw a path to the basket. Big time fourth quarter from Josh Adams. 23 points in the game.
Talking a little smack there too,
A few
huh?
words to say. Again, so they called that Horns play and he just put the Jets on. Straight around for the easy 2. It's been a good comeback from the JackJumpers. They look lackluster for the majority this second half. They just made some big plays down the stretch. Josh Adams has been huge. Jack McVeigh's done well. Everybody else is chiming in. Game's not over yet, but they're well on their way. Would have been nervous moments at halftime. As we said, this is a game that they fully expected to win. But now they've got a bit more added pressure that team above them keeps stumbling.
So if they win this one, they're still in the mix.
They sure are. They've got Southeast Melbourne to come on Sunday in Melbourne, and then United in round 23. So if they get there...
And they beat United before, yeah, right?
They have. Now, what will make that... Obviously, Perth has to stumble too. What will make that interesting is if Sydney drop one and Melbourne has that first position locked up, then England's been known to play the youngsters in the last game if it doesn't matter.
Right.
So if Tassie need to win that one, make things a little interesting. A lot to play out.
Just as a reference for Perth, they've got Cairns tomorrow and then Illawarra and Southeast Melbourne in the last round. It's going to be an amazing last round. Abercrombie turns the corner and drains it.
This one ain't over yet,
It
is
might
it?
not matter. What a knockdown from Tom Abercrombie. No time came off the clock. No need to foul. Plenty of time.
Don't foul. They're going at Rob Lowe, though, so you got to give him some help.
Adams had Kenyon
Nice
coming.
block.
Rob Lowe says, no, sir.
No, sir.
Opportunity.
Shot clock switched off.
I'm taking the last shot.
No, you got to go quick. Give yourself a chance.
I'm taking the last shot, bro. Got nothing to lose here.
Seaver, guarded by McIntosh. Into the paint, out for Abercrombie. He's done it before. He couldn't do it that time. Tasmania hang on in the most dramatic fashion, and their finals dreams live on.
Well, do they what? What an effort. The Breakers. I thought they got to go a little quicker. Give yourself a chance to extend the game. I know that you say they have nothing to lose. Well, it's still the game. But in the end, JackJumpers got what they wanted. A win. It was hard fought. They went about it a lot tougher than they would have liked. Well, they get a job done. Give a lot of credit to the Breakers the way they fought. Big block, big defensive possession to give themselves a chance. And that was well defended again by the JackJumpers. Out rebound, 42-30 rebound count. But 26 assists on 28 made field goals. That'll make Shamir very happy for New Zealand.
Heart goes out to the Breakers. They've had so many games like that this season where they've been in it for 3.5 quarters and late they just can't seal the deal. No Yanni Wetzel tonight, no Usman Jiang. They fought until the very, very end.
And they've given everything they got. You know, like I said again, imagine that plane ride back home, that last game. They get off, see their families. These guys deserve better than what they got.
Let's get down to Josh Adams at My State Bank Arena. Josh, appreciate your time. She's made hard work of that, but you got the result in the end, and the finals dreams live on.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a very tough team in New Zealand that hasn't gotten the the breaks and the ball to roll their way, but they play extremely hard, extremely physical, so they made us earn it for sure.
Josh, did you guys think about, or are you thinking about the games ahead? I mean, knowing that you could still make the playoffs, was that the reason why you guys stumbled early?
No, we're always focused on the next game. You know, it's always tough to play an away game at home with no fans. So New Zealand had a lot of energy in the first half, but we made adjustments and were able to stick it out.
Well, incredible game by yourself. We're starting to see that from you. But I want to talk a bit about Jack McVeigh's role. We know he's a great culture guy. I've seen that everywhere he goes. But he's starting to be that crucial piece of putting points on the board.
Yeah, he stepped up big since, I don't know how long ago he was shooting a very high clip from three, and we said we need to get him more shots, and he's been very effective, and that's a guy that whether the ball's going in or not, he's going to hit some clutch shots because he can just flat out shoot the ball.
Another one that you've been very high on, Matt Kenyon, with his energy getting up and in. We know what he's brought. Talk a bit about his role and his emergence over the season.
Yeah, he's massive, especially for a game like this where it may be a little bit tougher to find that energy early. That's a guy that brings it for 40 minutes every single game, including the minutes he's not on the court. And when a guy like that is bringing that kind of energy, we're forced to match it at some point in the game, and when we do, we're a very tough team to beat.
Josh, just before we let you go, you played in China, you've played in Spain, you've played in Russia. In the last couple of weeks, you've spoken about what you love about this league, but in particular, playing for Tasmania, and you've spoken about it. It's enough to want to come back if the situation's right next season.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great league, and I like what the NBL is doing with the business side of things, expanding teams, getting ESPN deals and whatnot. I love playing here, and it's a business decision at the end of the day, as it is for the club. If it works out, then I'm extremely excited to be a part of it, but we're just focused on the next game at this point.
Well, before I let you go, Josh, I know you love Tasmania, you've mentioned that, but a little birdie told me, a bit of a red wine connoisseur. You found a nice little spot down there?
Yeah, I got to give a shout out to Frogmore Creek, one of our sponsors. They have a delicious wine, but yeah, I'm a big red wine guy to relax after
Send me a bottle. Send me a bottle, bro.
Hey, get at me on the Instagram. We'll enjoy.
There it is. Josh, thanks very much. We always appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
He was superb. Josh Adams finished the game with 23 points on 8 of 18. Didn't have a huge say in the first 3 quarters, coach, but had a massive say.
Started a bit slow, but look, he's been their leader the whole year, and the way he goes about it, passed the ball well, got himself involved. Like we said in the beginning of the season, he was all about trying to get his points, but he's come around, and he's a team player now, and he's helping this team win. He's, again, talking a little bit of smash, but he feels confident, and he's that type of player that can get you to the next level.
He was superb tonight. Clint Steindl, the captain of the JackJumpers, joins us at My State Bank Arena. Clint, as always, we appreciate your time. It's win number 15 in your opening season. When you put pen to paper for the JackJumpers, could you have imagined in your wildest dreams that you would have won 15 games in your first season?
Yeah, I guess you could say it's a bit of fear of the unknown. But with the amount of work that we've put in with the group that we have, I guess early on we're finding our struggle. We're playing hard. We just had to make some adjustments, and one of them was getting Jack McVeigh involved. And since that point, he's kind of been the turning point in our season. And we've kind of rode him through some games, just getting him some looks from three, and it just opens up the floor for us. So we've definitely come a hell of a long way since that 2-6 record.
Clint, I want you to be honest with me here. Is it your job to come in and let it fly straight away? Be honest. Come on now.
Do I have any other job?
There you go. There you go. There you go.
Well, Clint, I want to ask a little bit about, we know that this finals dream is well and truly alive. And as the captain, it's hard not to think for the rest of the squad. We talked about a couple of weeks ago, yes, it was alive, but it seemed a bit of a long shot to get there. But now your old team starts to stumble. Even that game last night, what are you telling the team to make sure they focus? Because whether that was why you struggled at times a bit tonight in the back of your mind, it is always hard to be at your best every single night knowing that's coming.
Absolutely, and I think you just said it. In terms of focus, it's all got to be about us, and like everyone knows that we can't control what happens out west. But I mean, we need to win out for any chance for us to go through. So a lot of the focus is on us, and we hung tough in that one. But we got to flip the page now. We got to go to Southeast and win on the road to essentially survive and advance if we get the chance to.
How do you do that on Sunday against the Phoenix? Their finals chances are gone, Clint, but as you well know, they're still a very good team on paper.
Absolutely. I mean, you got Mitch Creek attacking in transition. He's a handful. He's been able to show, I guess he can shoot the three now. So there's another dimension we got to guard there. And you got Joe Chia inside. And kind of like tonight, you got crafty point guards that are able to make plays for themselves, make plays for others. So we got to fix that area of our game, and we got to do it pretty quick.
Clint, you mentioned after that 2-6 record getting Jack McVeigh involved. I want to talk a little bit about your import trio because it seemed they changed their mindset as well. A lot of it was Adams, it was Majette early, Mikhail McIntosh struggled, but now he's cemented himself as a crucial part of your team. How impressed have you been with how they bought in after, I'm sure there was a conversation from Scott Roth around that time, and they've been huge for you guys?
Absolutely. I'm super proud of those three. Obviously, the heat was on early. I think some of the things we changed was our shot selection. Once we got that nailed down and being able to use both sides of the floor, I mean, they've come on in bucket loads. I mean, they've improved so much just in terms of how the team needs to run. And now you're finding them, they're getting the ball where they want it, they're getting their looks. There's just no pressure on them to make it now. They're getting great looks, and it's at the end of the clock, which is what you want.
Tell us about Scott Roth, Clint, before we let you go. We've spoken a lot tonight about the Coach of the Year conversation. You would have heard it, no doubt about it. He has to be the front runner. Let's try and explain to us in a short space of time here what he's done for this group.
He's invested, he's sacrificed, and it's all about we. And we can continually go on with the things that he brings to this group. But those three are paramount. He's sacrificed a lot in his life to be here to coach these fellas. He's definitely invested, and it's all about the group for him.
Fascinating. Clint, thanks so much for joining us. Couple of games to go. You'll be watching very closely what happens tomorrow, of course, and then good luck Sunday against the Phoenix.
Cheers, fellas. See you soon.
Captain of the JackJumpers, Clint Steinel, joining us. We're going to come back and wrap it up. The JJs get the job done, 88-86 at MyState Bank Arena. It was a scare for the JackJumpers, but in the end, they found a way to manufacture win number 15. That takes them to 15-11 on the season. They win 88-86 over the New Zealand Breakers in a game that was really settled late. New Zealand led for a lot of the third and fourth quarters. The JackJumpers were in front when it mattered most.
We've seen some high-quality basketball. I mean, Will McDowell White passing the ball. Adams got himself going. Lowe was magnificent, career high. You know, these guys played quality basketball, and at the end of the day, it was good to watch.
Well, make no mistake, the JackJumpers, they did enough to get it over the line in the end, made some big plays down the stretch. You're always going to be tough to beat a team that has 26 assists on 28 made field goals. That means the ball's zinging around, they're getting easy looks. You can't hit 28 tough shots in a game, so that means it's a credit to the offense. They got it done. Josh Adams took over late, and JackJumpers, they lived. Survive another day.
Josh Adams, 23 points. Jack McVeigh, fantastic, with 16 points for the New Zealand Breakers. Rob Lowe, a career-high night with 27 points and 7 rebounds.
He looked good, no Wetzel, and he stood up. I mean, a lot of the shots were easy layups for him, but he played great basketball, shot the ball well, played some defense. Look, he was fantastic.
It's interesting to listen to Clint Steiner talk about where things change and mention Jack McVeigh getting him more involved in the offense, because it's definitely what happened. Now you look back, you can see the clear difference. But the way they went about it just seemed the way that the team was flowing. It wasn't like they were trying to make him that much of a focus. So that's a credit for the team for buying in, and that's something that really helped turn their season around.
Even Jack McVeigh tonight, as we take a look at his night, set the game up for Tasmania early, Coach. He was absolutely the spark in the first half.
We spoke about it earlier. He's their spark plug. He comes in and does whatever needs to be done, plays multiple positions, can shoot the ball well, and he's learned to play inside. Probably a lot more better than he did last year, but a smarter player, and again, gets other people involved. So I love the way he plays.
The smarts is the key word, but that's because that's what we're starting to see with Jack McVeigh. He knows where his strengths are. If you've got a slower big who's on him, he's going to try and get to those pick and pops where he just pops out of screens. Yeah. They can't rotate, and he's a smart enough player to give a one more when he needs to. So that's why he started to have a lot of success.
We've been talking a bit tonight about Tasmania and what the future looks like, and decisions on their team for next season, etc. A lot of talk before the year started whether Jack McVeigh, as an undersized four, would be good enough to play that role. Are you both sold that that's something Tasmania can take forward?
Offensively, there's no doubt about it. The only question mark here is when he comes up against these athletic fours, how do they stop? But that's why if you create the team defence around him, he doesn't get exposed as much in those matchups with the Xavier Cooks, the Mitch Creeks, the Jack Whites of the league, the Vic Law. So that's a credit to Scott Roth and the team for really helping him out. But offensively, he's good enough to go with all those guys. He knows where he finds his success, and that's what he always does.
Yeah, he's good enough, but I think he's probably still undersized. If you put him up against a guy like a Vic Law, with Law's experience, he's probably not right there yet. Yep. I still think, though, they need probably some better imports and bring him off the bench.
He could potentially, you bring in a really stud, say, four-man import alongside Will Magnay. He can be a Sixth Man of the Year candidate coming in to play that role where he still plays 25 to 30 minutes a game, and his role doesn't change. That could be a contending team if you can put that together.
Speaking of roles, Matt Kenyon's role this year has been superb. He's been one of the great stories with Tasmania in many ways. He sums up the JackJumpers with so many things that he does. His numbers tonight, 9 points, 6 rebounds to go with that. A couple of steals as well, Coach. He just does a lot of little things.
Just a blue-collar worker. You never expected for him to play the way he's played. He plays great defense. He gets the job done. Just does all the right things. And again, credit to him. You asked the question earlier, do I expect to see him play? I didn't even know who he was, but now we know him now, and obviously he's going to be around for a long time.
They've been such a phenomenal defensive team, but every good defensive team needs a figurehead, and you look at that, and for a lot, when they were 2-6, we're thinking, who is it? If that's what you want to try and be, that's the culture you want to do. Matt Kenyon put his hand up, they gave the opportunity, and he was that guy. The other best defensive team in the league, Melbourne United, they're bit more of a luxury. They've got multiple guys, but Delhi sets the tone. He's their number one guy.
Let's take a look at the Amy ladder now, because Tasmania have held up their end of the bargain. They win tonight. They're 5th, and they are now level with games won with the Perth Wildcats.
15 wins. Did we ever expect that, Jack? Be honest with me, guys. Did you expect them to have 15 wins in their first season?
So we've already been honest and said we both predicted them last, so you can probably do the math there. I don't think that we would have had 15. But what a story.
Yeah,
it's going to be hard to take that trophy off him. It's so well deserved.
Perth play tomorrow against the Cairns Taipans. The other game tomorrow is Melbourne United taking on the Brisbane Bullets. And then fast forward to Sunday. Both games really important there as well. Tasmania against the Phoenix for obvious reasons, but based on the way that they played last night, the 36ers going to the Q to play Sydney. They're in good form.
That's a tough game, man. And the rest of the games are tough. You're right, but Melbourne against Cairns, we picked Melbourne in that. Sydney Adelaide be very tough. Tasmania have beaten a lot of teams in this league, so Southeast Melbourne better watch out.
It's going to be a big day Sunday.
Oh, it's going to be huge.
Big day tomorrow, too.
But you mentioned that Sydney had a bit of weren't great against Adelaide and then followed up against New Zealand. So a loss towards finals wouldn't hurt them at all. I think I heard you mention it, which we've been saying. That might only help strengthen their championship hopes.
That is going to see us out for the night. Thanks so much for being with us on Good Friday Basketball on behalf of Halls, Copes and all of our teams behind the scenes. Thanks so much for your company. We'll see you tomorrow for a double header in the Hungry Jacks NBL.
It's game time and I'm up one. Name something I ain't done. Name a body that's my type. Air Jordan, I take flight. I'm next level, I'm franchise. I'm top tier, I'm that guy. I'm the man of the year. I'm a man with no fear. I think like I'm a shark. The way I move so sharp. I go hard for the team. That's how I play my part. I'm solid like the foundation.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jacks and Bunnings Warehouse.